Hi, welcome to my channel and your gateway and portal to your best version. Continuing with the discussion on the importance of the present moment, largely based on my understanding of Buddhism and the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and many others who have written on the subject and my own experience. These videos that I have created are directed towards the generation Z to become their best version so that they are able to pave a better path for the generation Alpha. Before we start, a sincere request to share, subscribe, and ring the bell, and most of all, leave a comment, please. Well, let's not waste. The only moment that we have is the present moment. How can we realize this when our mind is overflowing, is flooded with the past or the future? There is a famous story of a foreigner who went to a Buddhist monk in India and asked to be trained in Buddhist philosophy. The monk avoided him and asked him to come over the weekend, the next weekend, and then the next weekend. Finally, the monk invited him over a cup of tea. And as they sat, the monk asked him, "What is it exactly that you want to learn?" and started to pour the tea in his cup. The cup got filled, but the monk continued to pour the tea. It started to overflow. The foreigner was confused. He pointed towards the cup and then raised his voice and said, "Monk, the cup is full and is overflowing." The monk then said, "This is exactly what I wanted you to learn. Empty your mind before wanting to learn something new." This is exactly what happens to each one of us. Our minds are clouded, are overloaded with past and the future. Of various incidences, oh, that fellow said this and that, what will become of me, my career, my house, my car, my bank balance, my business, my relationship, etc., and more etceteras. In order to empty it and bring it to the present moment, there is this age-old practices of mindfulness and yoga. What is yoga? Yoga as a physical discipline is about tuning a body in through postures that allows you to physically be present in the moment. It is finding that spot wherein you get the best network at home or office, the maximum bars on your network or Wi-Fi. The bars on yoga is about bringing your attention and awareness to what your body is trying to communicate with you and pay close attention to your body and your movements. The breathing exercise is the foundation of yoga. What is mindfulness? Originally associated with Buddhist philosophy, the term mindfulness comes from the Sanskrit word smriti, S-M-R-T-I, which literally translates to that which is remembered. From this, we understand that mindfulness is remembering to pay attention to our present moment's experience. It is about being aware of what is happening right now. It is about the awareness without involvement, without judgment, and accepting of what is existing. Simply put, being mindful is all about being present in that very moment without classifying them as good or bad. It is just being aware of any feeling or emotion that very moment and accepting it as it is without judgment or reaction. So, is yoga and mindfulness connected? And is mindfulness meditation? Well, Mindfulness is a quality, the quality of awareness, whereas meditation is a practice, like practicing for a sports event. The intent and the results may be vastly different. Mindfulness and yoga go hand in hand because both aim to achieve a higher order of awareness or connection between the body, mind, and spirit. Both yoga and mindfulness guide you to quieten your mind and form a connection with the deeper understanding of yourself and your surroundings. Mindfulness is something that we can cultivate through practice of yoga. The breathing techniques that are used during yoga helps us connect with the body in the present. It also builds our awareness of all that is happening around us at that moment. We need to remember that mindfulness is not a one-time activity but a way of being. For example, while walking, some people like to swing their hands straight, crisscross, or tight at the back, or just don't care where their hands are. Their style stays lifelong, and quite a few of your friends may be recognizing you with your walk itself. So when you're conscious of the walk, of the surrounding, your breathing, your body language, etc., every time and always, and not being judgmental whether it is good or bad, that is what is meant by way of being, rather than just an activity. Almost any activity can be carried out with mindful awareness. In 1979, Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, a microbiologist working at the University of Massachusetts Medical School, started a 8-week program, mindfulness-based stress reduction program. He says, mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. The 3 key words are: first, purpose. In mindfulness involves intentionally and purposefully directing your attention rather than letting it wander. Presence in mindfulness involves being fully engaged with and attentive to the present moment. Thoughts about the past and future that arise are recognized simply as thoughts occurring in the present. Acceptance in mindfulness involves being non-judgmental towards whatever arises in the moment. This means that sensations, thoughts, and emotions are not judged as good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant. They are simply noticed as happening and observed until they eventually pass. Mindfulness requires an anchor or base. The anchor serves as the object of attention during mindfulness practice to steady itself. Like a boat at anchor, still moves about, but in a limited manner, but stays at the same spot. If you're being mindful of your breath, you should try to maintain a continual awareness of your breath entering and leaving the body. Feeling the air entering and exiting your nostrils, the sensation of your lungs expanding and contracting. The exact sensation doesn't matter as long as you can keep focused on it. Some other examples of anchors are the sound of a bell or the taste and texture of food. This is exactly why we are told to focus on the food while eating. The taste, the texture, and also gratitude to the person who cooked it. Whereas most of us eat focusing on a screen, reading a newspaper or a book. By doing so, you realize that the food is finished and you hardly remember the taste. And therefore, the question of paying gratitude to the person who made it doesn't arise. Similarly, in each activity, we need to have an anchor. Another example is while studying. While doing so, keep a pencil in hand to mark, to underline, make notes, highlighting important points, etc. Utilizing all your 5 senses, read loudly, whereas we tend to study with some kind of a background noise. The television on, music playing in the background, and we deliberately prevent ourselves from paying attention and retaining what we are studying. Returning to the anchor, this is where the power of mindfulness practice comes from, your ability to get back to the focus. Chances are you will only be able to remain focused for a short while. And before becoming distracted. This is okay and is to be expected. When you realize you have lost focus, gently refocus your attention on the anchor. With time and practice, your mind will begin to settle into calmness and you will find yourself able to focus for longer periods. While at first, you may only notice yourself drifting from your anchor long after you start daydreaming. Eventually, you will start to notice distractions, such as thoughts or sensations as they arise. Instead of being lured away from your anchor by these distractions, it will be easier to simply notice them and let them pass. A helpful note to keep in mind is that your distractions are like birds flying in the sky. Notice them without judgment and then let them pass without a trace. You need to experiment with this. Everyone needs to experiment. Yes, each one of you. Experiment with creating one's own mindfulness practice throughout the day, as everyone's situation and circumstance will be different. So your way of being mindful will be unique to you. Being mindful or increased awareness of the present moment can transform routine movements into deeply satisfying practices. However, having a ritualized and structured practice can be beneficial. One of the things I love about the United States is that you are paid by the hour. Therefore, most of them know the importance of 60 minutes and they mentally program themselves to be productive in that space of time. People who are on a monthly salary are more laid back and relaxed and are not productive by the hour. So we need to always reflect on a practice of mindfulness to being a way of life. The steps to achieve this is: first, take responsibility. With time and practice, your mind will begin to settle into calmness and you will find yourself you're able to focus for longer periods. While at first you may only notice yourself drifting from your anchor long after you started probably dreaming, but gradually you will start to notice distractions coming your way, such as thoughts or sensations. The moment they arise, you'll be able to notice them and prevent yourself being lured away from your anchor by these distractions. It'll be easier to simply notice them and let them pass. A helpful note to keep in mind is that your distractions are like birds flying in the sky. Notice them without judgment and then let them pass without a trace. Everyone needs to experiment with this aspect, with this process. Yes, each one of you. Experimenting with creating one's own mindfulness practices throughout the day, as everyone's situations and circumstances will be different. So your way of being mindful will be unique to you. Being mindful or increased awareness of the present moment can transform routine moments into deeply satisfying practices. However, having a ritualized and structured practice can be beneficial. One thing I love about the United States is that you're paid by the hour. Therefore, most of them know the importance of 60 minutes and they mentally program themselves to be productive in that space of time. People who are on a monthly salary are more laid back and relaxed and are not that productive by the hour. So we need to always reflect on a practice of mindfulness to being a way of life. Get the maximum out of our being mindful. The steps to achieve this is, first, take responsibility of your own life and your happiness. Your happiness is your responsibility and no one else's. Believe there's a God in you and in others too, and around you. Therefore, pray regularly to connect. Practice gratitude. This is the ultimate universal religious practice. The practice of gratitude, being grateful to each and everything that is coming our way. The fourth, practice acceptance. Because whatever you are refusing to accept is causing you pain. But your non-acceptance is making it worse. There's a common saying in Buddhist philosophy that suffering is equal to pain multiplied by resistance. So therefore, when you resist, the pain gets multiplied. You may be going through a painful experience, but refusing to accept what happened will simply increase the pain. The fifth is set clear intentions. An intention setting practice goes beyond the present moment. Setting up a regular practice where you revisit your intentions every day takes you from a thinking state, just theoretical state, to being a proactive participant in your dream life journey. You may find it exactly opposite of being mindful. No. But the moment you have clarity on your intentions, you're better focused. And therefore, you come to the path of becoming your best version. Start your day by setting your intentions to create clarity in your life. The sixth point is be physically active. Walk, jog, do yoga, breathing exercises, and most of all, have fun. The seventh and the last point is pursue a serious hobby. Serious hobbies have an almost professional outlook in the output or the skill level that you have reached. It should be something that stretches you while also providing a break from your primary activity. It could be like playing an instrument, singing, painting, etc. Finding exactly one serious hobby to pursue mastery in is a powerful tool for balancing your life and becoming more effective. One of the offshoot benefits of a serious hobby is that you develop the courage to say no to things not in your sphere of activity. Many people find it difficult to say no and find themselves indulging in many useless activities. So that's all for you all in this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and ring the bell. And most of all, I eagerly wait for your comments so that I'll be able to incorporate all those in the next episode. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.